Hello, my nerdlings! I'm back from another LARP game, and I'm not gonna lie, this is really weird because Gavin is right there, and I never film in front of people, so interesting doing something that you are normally in a room by yourself doing, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh hi! I love you.
I love you too.
So we got home, we went to the Yule event for Mythic, and Friday we did our monster shifts. I did makeup, and Gavin went out and you controlled ghouls?
So I played as a thing called a hunter ghast in charge of a pack of regular ghasts. And yeah, they basically just have paralytic claws and are really fast and kind of cunning.
Saturday, we got ready and we went and worked our shift at the Gilded Peacock, which is the tea house, and Gavin kept watch and I served high tea, and that went lovely. I didn't really think we had any hiccups there.
Other than the power going out at one point.
The power went out right before we opened for high tea. We're in this small trailer where we have like our service counter, and we have 4 tables that you can sit at for high tea, and if you have too many things in the different outlets, it dies. But luckily we got it going right when it was time to open, and we were already set up, so it didn't really hinder us. It was just frustrating right before we opened for high tea. So we did tea and we served, and that was great. And the nice thing about working is we get to eat the leftovers. Christina, who plays Lady Evelyn, made amazing scones, and they were delicious. They were so good. And she didn't put spinach on the sandwiches, which I super duper appreciate. I have a food intolerance to spinach. I can't digest it. So I can also pick it off because like it's not an allergy where like I'll get hives or anything. So like I can touch it and take it off myself. But it's nice when I don't have to worry about that. So super appreciative of that. After the peacock, I took a little nap. And then I got ready for the Yule Feast, which is our big event that happens at the Yule game. And it's enormous, and the man who runs our game usually gets it catered, and then we all also bring items ourselves to share with everybody. So he got Sunny's barbecue, so we had pork and turkey and sweet potatoes and macaroni and cheese and green beans. And am I missing anything from the big lineup? There was banana pudding.
Yeah, the banana pudding was fire.
It was really good banana pudding. And then we all brought our own things, so I roasted like those little potatoes, the really tiny ones. I got a whole bunch of those and roasted a whole bunch with rosemary and garlic and butter and salt and pepper and onions, and they were really good. And yeah, people brought all different types of things. And then I also made troll horns, which I have learned I may have offended the ancient races, because I was like going around to everyone sharing them, because I made 60 of them, and I was giving anyone that wanted one a troll horn. It's a flour tortilla, and then you use butter and you put down cinnamon and sugar. I got the idea from the Norway pavilion at Epcot because they have something very similar there, and I was like, oh, my character's Scandinavian based, so I'm gonna make these troll horns that they sell at Epcot. But they were super easy to make, and they're really simple, but they're really tasty. And I was going around, and I had like tongs, so I like had my tray and was serving them and asking people if they wanted one. And we get over to the ancients, and I'm like, would anyone like a troll horn? And they're all just staring at me, and they're like, and it dawns on me later that like, that might be offensive. We name foods after what they look like, even though in our game trolls don't have horns, but so I'm sorry if I offended anybody. They're not actually supposed to be troll horns. They're just literally a dessert named after troll horns.
They're really good if you put the banana pudding in the troll horn.
He did that. It was really good. The feast was really fun. We were all stuffed. The little acorns that I had like a whole bunch of them, and I was giving them out as Yule presents. I got a necklace from Christina. It's a little Mjolnir hammer, which I thought was very sweet and fitting and appropriate, and I loved it. And I got cookies and a little broom, witch's broom, and a little lantern from the Inversos, Jamie and Kelly, which was very sweet of them, and I'm very appreciative. I kind of called it a night after that, and I took a shower and went to bed, and I was in bed by midnight. Gavin went out monster hunting. There were lots of goblins out, and then
Goblin Palooza.
yeah, there was a ton of goblins, and then some other stuff came out much later in the night. But you came to bed at like 2:30, 3-ish.
Yeah, I came back right before the vocal acts came out, which are undead werewolves.
Yeah.
Zombie werewolves.
Yeah.
And I missed it.
Yeah. I'm sorry you missed it.
Big sad.
You went to bed too early.
I did.
But yeah, so I avoided all the combat because I just went to bed. And then Sunday, I went looking for druids to tell me more about their own druidic practices, because last game, Lady Orlin taught me the druidic arts, and she instructed me to go talk to other druids and learn about them and how they practice their druidry, because it is very personal to each person. We all relate to the earth and the elements and nature and the cycle. Everyone was talking about the cycle, which makes sense. But, you know, she instructed me to go talk to other druids and learn about their perspective on things and how they practice, so that I could learn more about, just because everyone sees it differently, which was great. So I talked to Evelyn when I was at the Peacock working. I ran into Lynette, who is a human, and she is very new to druidic arts as well, so she was just explaining to me how it kind of like grounds her and centers her, and she always has that place to come back to. And then I went and had a lovely discussion with Lady Gabriel, and I don't know his name. He's not a druid, but his insight was very wonderful. He plays a human. No, not Yuri. Yuri was for hide and seek.
Oh.
He's a human gentleman. He has dark straight hair and a nice cut. He has a mustache, and he mines and he makes weapons. I do not know what his name is, but I've had a couple conversations with him, and he's absolutely lovely. So I went and I talked with Lady Gabrielle, who is one of the very older druids in the game. People that have been playing the game for years. So Gabrielle has been very present since the beginning of the game. So she's a very common face in the druidic crowd, and she is an Eldar, and so I went with her and her companion that we're going to talk about business and something. I don't know what. I left because it was not my place. But while we walked to where they were having their meeting, she told me about how important the cycle is and how you need to find your own place and where you fit best in the cycle so that you can learn and grow. And the whole thing about the cycle is that, you know, you have life, growth, death, and decay, which then cycles back around to new life and growth and death and decay, and you're constantly in the ever-growing circle, and different people with their practices tend to fall into different sections of the cycle. So find what works best for you, and not that death and decay are a bad thing, because eventually we are all going to die, and our remains will nourish the next step of the cycle, so it's ever going. And, you know, find where you fit best. And she gave me a lesson about the dead tree orcs, which are trying to destroy the resurrection trees, so I learned about that. And then I took all of that information. I went and I had a conversation after I left Gabriel. I went and I saw it's my friend Reagan, but she wasn't playing Reagan. She was playing her new character, and I cannot tell you what her name was. It's very long in Edomirian, but I had a little conversation with her, and it was very lovely. She plays a noble, and she was very taken aback by the simplicity of Aetheltorn, which is the town that we reside in, because she was like, there's no paved roads, and I don't have any ladies in waiting to help me with my clothes. And I was like, I live in the woods. I don't have any of that. But I understand how this is different and jarring and can be something different. Minerva, what are you doing? Say hi? Oh yes, come say hi. Oh, fussy. Do you miss us? You a good girl? Yeah. And then I ran into you and Ethan and Ekirava. And then you escorted me back to the cabin. I grabbed my wares because the merchants were heading into the Iron Keg. And you told me about what happened at Lake Town. And then I sold and traded some goods. I got some new arm guards, wristbands, wrist cuffs. Bracers, thank you. That James, who plays Wolfram, made. And I bought some jelly babies and traded some wares and things, and then I saw Lady Orlin and I reported back that I had completed my lesson that she gave me, and then she took me and taught me the first level of spells for the druidic arts. I'm tongue-tied. And she also taught me the hearth arts, and she taught me tracking, which she took our friend Fern, who is a Shireling, as I've mentioned in previous videos with Piper. That is Piper's best friend that she met in Stillwater. And we took Yuri, who is a human, and she sent them hiding, and I had to track them and find them. So we basically played hide and seek, and I learned about tracking, and it was very fun. It was quite enjoyable. And then I went back and packed things up, and we went and ate Mexican food, and now we're home, and it was great. It was a good game. It was a really good game. I enjoyed myself. Do you have anything else to add?
I hate goblins.
Kevin hates goblins.
They're so annoying. And they had bazookas.
They did. This is why I went to bed Saturday night, so I didn't have to deal with any of it.
Goblin bazookas. No.
I'm looking forward to Ratification Day. I have no idea what I'm going to do Ratification Day, but I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be great. I hope you all have had a lovely 2 months since our last event, and I'll see you all later. Happy Yule. Bye!